Hey, what's up? Spence from OG Rawcast. So one thing that I need to talk about is how we are looked at in the world as black people. Like we have groups of people who distinguish themselves different ways, and I want to point that out. Um, a lot of it is looked at, like with the terms, black fatigues and all kind of stuff like that. We looked at as like we're a problem. So what I want to talk about is why we as somebody black who doesn't feel like they fit into that thing, who doesn't fit into that lump picture, we are a problem, but we're not the problem. See, a lot of different cultures have the same group of people who show up. These small groups of people who do things that we don't love, but I don't care to talk about them right now. I'm focused on my group, so I want to talk about some of the things that we do and some of what I think are the reasons why, not as excuses, but the issue behind the issue. See, we come up bad in a lot of different lights, like in social media, in TV, in music, um, maybe even in movies still. Like in social media, for instance, you see a lot of fighting, a lot of girl fights, a lot of guy fights, a lot of gang imitating activities. You hear it in hip hop, in music. You hear it's about shoot 'em up, bang bang. When I was growing up, hip hop used to be a little different, like friends, boom 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 boom. How many of us have like that kind of thing? It's on a different vibe. A lot of the R&B music back then was more about turn off the lights, that kind of stuff. Like let's meet with friends, let's meet with our women, let's impress them, let's take care of them. That's not the thing anymore. On TV, we have things like Bad Girls Club, stuff like that. It's all about attention, and I understand what that's about. It's about being seen. I realize I understand a little bit about this. Like when I grew up, when I was young, I had my parents were strict. My grandparents were strict. Everybody in the house was, we knew things like be home in time for dinner, be home at our curfew when the street lights came on. We knew how to use our inside voice, when we're in like sometimes when we're outside. It's around certain people, certain things you had to do. It's I thought it was restricting because a lot of my friends didn't have to be home for dinner. A lot of them, well, not a lot. There were a few who could do more things. They were more loose with their language, and I was like, man, they're holding me back. As I get older, I understand why they're holding me back. They're trying to keep me alive and keep me out of jail, and that's a good thing. But I noticed that there's a difference in us way back then. Then let's proceed to out of school. Like I'm in college, and it doesn't matter if it's in college, it's adulthood. Like when you're out of the house and you're like a man to do what you want to do, or a woman too, but I'm talking about me. You start to see groups of people, groups of black people that hung with, and they like, yeah, the white boy this, man, the Chinese boy this, yeah, the Rican boy, the Asian boy. Like it was different. And they talk loud, like they're always loud, always in front of people. And it was confusing me for the longest time. Like these people ain't even come up with the right, like what are we doing out here? It started to come clear as I grew that what we're reaching for is attention. And like if we talk loud whenever we don't need to talk loud, it's because we want to be heard. If we're flashy, gold teeth, chains outside our shirt, like necklaces, crazy hairdos and cool, and I did those too. It's to be seen because you felt all your life like you weren't being seen. That I think is what's going on. But some people can see that and realize what it is and start to change. And I want us to get to a point where more of us notice that and take more pride in the idea that silence is stronger than attention. Like say I'm going to get into a fight with somebody and I'm mouthing off somebody. I heard this guy, but when we meet up, he's boisterous. He's like, I told you I'm gonna do this. He's all in your face. I know now, and I knew once I started to figure this out. That's the least of my problems is him with the mouth. It's the one who doesn't want to look you in the eye, and it's the one who doesn't say anything, and who doesn't, give the physical, like that's the one you got to look out for. So I want us to focus on the fact that silence isn't us like herbing down. I don't know a way to say this. It's not us afraid to confront the situation. It's actually the opposite. It's showing people that we're not afraid of what you're even capable of, but you have no markers to guess what I'm capable of. It's kind of like we're perceiving the power. We're misreading what looks like power, because all the flamboyance doesn't quite get us there. I don't even know who that works on, but what it does is it does get you in front of the camera, as we can see with social media now and with TV and with music. We're not responsible for only making gang-related type music. We can make the music, but the people who pay to put the music out are who determine what music gets out. Now, we have SoundCloud and maybe a lot of other independent ways to try to get our come up. But for a long time, that's the music that come out. And you have to look at it. Like, why is this the only music being made? We talk about other stuff. We think about other things. But there's groups of people who say that's what we want to do. That's what we're going to fund. And that's kind of what gets paid, what gets financed. And it makes more people kind of want to say, well, if I want to come up, that's what I got to talk about. I would assume the same thing goes with TV. If I'm an actor or not an actor, I want to be, the best thing I can do to get my blow up is to come out and act up, because they already think you're a monster. So I'm going to lend myself to that to get this backing to get on stage, and then I'm going to get beaten a contract and not have any money anyway, but it's going to look like I'm that guy and I'm famous and cameras follow me and paparazzi shots come up of me. And then, that brings all the negative attention. And more than ever, it happens on social media. Social media, the fight videos, the what's that? The knockout game. That's not even a thing. That was never a thing. That might have happened a couple times, and it blows up into this whole thing. I live in the cities. I lived in the streets. I've never seen a group of black people walk up and knock somebody out. It's just not a thing. All the Asian hate bills, the Asian hate crimes. There might have been one or two incidents where somebody did something, and the news focused on that, and now there's memorandums, there's laws, there's all kind of stuff. We don't get that sort of response when we have a problem. See, when we go into an Asian salon and you try to get something done, you try to buy some hair out of their place or whatever it is, or get your nails done, and they talk about you, and they follow you around the store and they put you out, that doesn't make the news. There's no laws to protect us after that. So there's a lot going on that's one way against us. There's a big picture thing happening where they're backing financially us to help support the view that they want to get of us out into the public. But I want us to stop giving into that. I want us to stop giving into that and understand that all we have to do is quiet down and show our power. Because here's another thing that what we know how to do can help us turn it into something else. Like another example I use is from my own life. I used to, I'm in college, I spent my whole life broke. I didn't know I was broke when I was in my family's house. We had what we had, a whole bunch of people there. I didn't even think of it as broke. I just looked at that all as love. So that part's cool. But when I get out in the public, I realize, man, these people got big houses. These people always have a car to drive, and it's new. These people have, all the latest clothes. I didn't have that coming up. And so a situation came up where we'll say I find out I can sell drugs or something like that. So it's easy to talk about. It's not cool, and I'm not talking it up, but it's true. It's just a way of coping and dealing with what we have and learning what it feels like to have some money. So for whatever it's worth, I don't care what you judge. That was 35 years ago. So I did that. But what that means is, what I learned is, not during it right away, but afterwards. That's a business. And I know how to run a business. Because I wasn't one of the people who buy a quarter ounce of weed and sell 3 or 4 bags out of it and then smoke a little bit for free and think that I'm a drug dealer. No, this is a whole thing. You show up, you sit in the same spot for 12 hours every day, 7 days a week. And people start to know you. They start to recognize you. They know where you're going to be. They know you're dependable. Product's always good. It's always properly sized and priced and all of that sort of stuff. And you find yourself with a following, like a crew. You have people who make sure that you don't have to leave. So they have to supply you with drinks if you're thirsty and some food. There's no lunch breaks. When you do it hard and you try to do it right, you start to realize I'm moving people, I'm acquiring, I'm procuring goods, I'm preparing them. That's the manufacturing side. I'm selling them, which is distribution. I'm staffing. I'm bringing people on. All facets of business. And once you understand that the skills that I'm doing in these streets that's illegal, I can be doing legally. I have the same skills. I might not have the degree from the school that you think is makes me noteworthy, but I have the skills. What I need to do is find a way to hone these skills into the legal side of life. And then I can do other things. But it's not just that particular experience, and it's not just me. I understand a lot of the stuff that teachers say would tell you about yourself that isn't true. You would learn that you are smart. You know how to problem solve. You know how to figure out what's what. You know how to speak to people. You know how to make people appreciate you and respect you. All these things. We do so many things as black people here that if we could just change what it is we do into a thing that isn't looked at as bad or negative, then we have all of the shit we need already to have an entirely different impact on this place. But in order to talk about that, and as an older head, to bring it to somebody young who I see in the game, I can't just walk up and be like, yo, check it out, young boy. You need this, this, and that. You can be like, hey, get away from me over here with that shit. Like, it's hard to talk to people. They might receive it as disrespect when it's the furthest thing from that. It's a respect because I see you. And I'm trying to say, this is your acknowledgement. It's coming from me, who's been there. I can show you, if you allow me, how to transform everything that I see you doing. But if we can't break through and they take that as disrespect, I don't know how to solve that yet. So I'm asking you, how do you think we should solve that? What's a way that we could approach people and let people know that there's something outside of the shine? The shine is temporary and it's not as bright as it seems. Quiet, the unknown, that's what's scary. That's where the respect comes. That's where the dignified impressions come. So how do we do that? How do we get that to our younger folks? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what kind of responses you have to that. That's it. Peace.